It's a wild time. And a lot of the stuff, really what we're noticing with Twitter and even with Facebook and blogging in general is it's opened up an avenue for new reporters. It's the whole, like CNN calls them I-reporters. We're now the citizen journalists for a lot of different things. We're reporting the news, and you don't even have to be affiliated with a big fan site or, even with an official site. You can start your own blog. They're free, and you can start writing. You can start editorializing, and that's how I got my start. I just started writing with like very foul language about Star Wars, and people liked it. Well, not everybody. I got some things, but it was really interesting just to see how you build your community around that. And so my question now is, how are you viewing Twitter, and how do the people around you view Twitter and blogs and Facebook as being new media? Are you finding that it's more accepted now? Anything like that?
Yeah, I'm just going to butt in and say this real quick. If you guys didn't go to the Celebration main event, which was with George Lucas and Jon Stewart, it was ironically my boss, who doesn't really like Twitter that much, Pablo Hidalgo, who's a great writer, and he's been with StarWars.com for a long time. He took on live tweeting for the first time, and I and my coworker Pete Vilmer were actually physically doing old school journalistic reporting at the event. And I have to say, I was so sad because I miss live tweeting because it's so much easier, it's so faster, you get pull quotes quicker. Doing the old-fashioned recording and then transcribing is horrible now. I feel like I'm handwriting on a yellow legal pad reporting now. So, but that was a way that we connected with fans who couldn't be here. And that's why we're doing so much stuff on here for Twitter, because that's the way you get it. But yeah, as far as like blogging and that sort of thing, Lucasfilm now has an initiative to do more social media. And not a lot of companies do that, and we definitely have split up our reporting between blog, Twitter, and the official site. So we're doing it a lot more. But like 3 years ago, people still didn't know what a blog was or Twitter or anything like that. So it's moving quickly, so we'll see what happens in another year if we're all just doing video vlogs.
Well, that's what I was going to say, just sort of half teachable moment and half sort of plug for TFN. But after the main event was over and they showed the Lucas lightsaber scene, I think 3 or 4 years ago you would have to wait until StarWars.com put up the HD video, and said, here it is, this is what you saw today. But, we were able to get that video up, and we were able to say, here you go, if you weren't here, just like a text stream, this is another, it's, people have said this is a Twitter panel, but it's really just about accessibility in media, right? The video is an important component because that's what people are discussing. And we were able to put that out there for people, not only, who were in there and wanted to see it again, but people who didn't want to wait a few hours, or, there are people, as Bonnie has said, on the other side of the world whose schedules are not conducive to just sitting there and waiting for it to go up. So it's all about real time and how you can affect the stream of news by being on the spot right there at that right time.
Yeah, it's really the sort of instant gratification that we've all become accustomed to, and now we have no excuse. So if you're not live tweeting the Clone Wars every single Friday night, what's wrong with you? You should be doing it.
You tweet during it?
Oh, I do.
I can't do that.
Well, I
tweet to watch it.
I do.
Maybe I'll watch it again, and then I'll make some.
I have very strict rules. It's like at the end of each act.
You're gonna miss so many background characters.
Isn't that what commercials are? Commercial break. I tend to do commercial breaks, and I think to myself and it's really terrible because at this point I find myself thinking in 140 characters or less. I'm like, how do I get my point across? How can I be brief? What can I say that's going to be funny? Maybe I shouldn't use that word.
You shouldn't use that word.
That's really what it is at that point.
If you feel the word, use the word. You only have 140 seconds and 140 characters. And what I think is it's communicating any type of language. You have this idea, this vision in your head. And you have to condense it down into words. And you hope that when someone reads those words, it's like adding water, expand back up the same thing that's in your head. And when you have something like Twitter, you have a smaller little window to say that. So I think, sometimes with this whole world of a texting type language, and you don't know the subtext of what someone's saying, but I just say it as colorful as possible. So you got to put on your Twitter earmuffs sometimes. The deal, or hope you're not very deep.
Now I do have a question, for For James, actually.
Okay.
Got it right here.
Yes, the senator in the back there. And,
Exactly. Now, what brought you into social media? What made you say, hey, I'm going to get myself a Twitter account. Hey, let me get on Facebook.
Well, actually, it's probably safer for me to say that I'm the oldest person on this panel. But I have always I've always been kind of obsessed with technology. And, I started as a stand-up comic and a radio DJ back when I literally was still spinning records. These round things. And then we just made the change over to CD, and then we had 8-track tape, splicing on that, and then we got digital.
Look, he has a record.
Ah, yes, my man. So I've always been hungry for new media, new ways of getting information out there, new ways of creating information, new ways of getting my brain going, and it's just the ADD in me as well, I think, that actually it helps comment, quite frankly. But I see the need for voice actors as well to have a voice as actors. And the way that we can do that is by also being accessible, but also showing that we are connecting with people. Because the only way anybody's ever going to know what we do is if other people know about it. And then it keeps going on and on and on. And this is an amazing opportunity for that, because we don't have films. We're not Brad Pitt. We're not, just a film there, and you go there and you get press here and there. If you have this much press, you got to take advantage of it. And then if I can sit there and I can go to this link, and then 1,000 people go to that link, and then they, it's just brilliant. It's awesome. And so I just feel as though I need to be on top of it if I'm going to be in this industry for any length of time.
And that's really the key at this point. It's the fact that we can share and we can overshare, and we're growing accustomed to it. It's what we like to see. I want to see what Bonnie's having for lunch, because I think I'm like,
I never tweet that. It's funny. A lot of people tweet what they're eating. The only time I tweet what I'm eating is if it's something that's really late at night and crazy scary. Like, and then I got married to R2-D2 here. Yeah, don't judge. And so I had a bachelorette party. It is now. Anything's legal here, apparently. And so I invited Twitter and Facebook to the wedding, so I think it was like one of the largest weddings because everyone here on Twitter went. But my bachelorette party with the droids, I had pancakes and margaritas, and I think I tweeted that just to ask permission if it was okay to do that. But yeah, and also I just want to bring up, because someone, I don't know if it was one of you guys talked about the viral part of Twitter, but Star Wars memes are a big part of Twitter, where it's like the hashtag and they'll say Star Wars Shakespeare or Star Wars and other movies or whatever. And these are these things that people do when they're bored, and they'll replace a word with something else, and it's Star Wars. Like the Star Wars Shakespeare thing was great because it was Star Wars quotes in Shakespearean language, so it was like, "'Tis a trap," things like that. And it becomes this big deal to the point where people are wasting their time at work trying to think of funny Shakespearean Star Wars quotes, and it just becomes viral. And now we start publishing all this stuff on the blog and Star Wars Insider magazine as well. So, I mean, these are things that even if you're not you don't know what to tweet about, usually there's some weird meme you can get involved in or just retweet other people. I just want to take a quick poll. Who here actually uses Twitter? Okay, cool. Who has no idea what Twitter is, but they just wanted to sit here and listen to us talk about Twitter? Okay, no. Who here uses Facebook as their main thing? Okay. Who's a blogger? Okay, cool.
What is Foursquare? What is that? Hi, I'm buying shoes at Foursquare.
I'll actually speak to that because to me it's the same thing as a tweet, in that you're saying this is what I'm involved in right now, and because if you build a community of friends, right? I mean, if I'm friends with you, and I say I'm at the Fandom 140 panel, and you say, hey, I didn't know you were there, I'm here too, or hey, I didn't know you were there, I should check that out.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. You have a friend in the UK, and you're like,
yeah, so it's got to be local.
On La Brea, and,
right? It's hyper local. I mean, that's the thing. If you live in the area,
and I don't understand the concept of mayor. It's like
I am the mayor of so many things. I am the mayor of Lucasfilm, the Yoda statue. I am the mayor of the 24-hour diner over at Peabody Hotel right now.
For those that don't know, the mayor is if you check in more than anybody else on Foursquare, and Starbucks will give you $1 off if you're the
mayor. I'm also the mayor of the Starbucks at the Presidio too. Yeah. Jabba the Hutt, which is our ILM coffee place in Lucasfilm. It's stupid, but it's one great way to stalk people because